What is going on, y'all? It is peak week, and I figured I'd take a moment and just kind of walk y'all through the run of events for this first competition of the season. So I am doing the OCB Federation, and it's going to be the Clash of the Cache Valley competition here in Logan, Utah. I am at an Airbnb right now in Logan, Utah, filming this for y'all. I just kind of want to run y'all through the play of events. So I'm filming this on Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. Friday, I'm going to do a light pump-up workout at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's not designed to be hitting any PRs or going for any records. That's simply designed to help get some blood flow, stimulate the muscle, and just engorge the muscle with blood to maintain that fullness going into the day before the show. This is a relatively smaller show, so there's not that many competitors. It shouldn't last too long. Sometimes they'll break it up into a pre-judging and a finals, in which there's several hours in between. This show simply has a 30-minute intermission, so it should be a pretty quick turnaround. Interestingly enough, with this show, I was the only competitor in the men's bodybuilding category. So I found that out yesterday. I was pretty frustrated by that because I traveled quite some way, and I don't want to be the only person on stage and automatically getting first place for my category. I want to fight for that win. So I emailed them and asked if they can go ahead and move me to classic physique. So with that, I will be competing in classic physique as opposed to open men's bodybuilding. I'll be in classic open. Now, there's not a whole lot of difference between classic physique and open bodybuilding. There's a significant difference between men's physique. That's where you're wearing the board shorts. Classic physique still has many of the same poses. You've got your symmetry round poses, front relaxed, side relaxed, rear relaxed. You've got your muscular round poses, front double bicep, rear double bicep, hands overhead, abdominal thigh. So a lot of similarities there. The main difference with the classic bodybuilding or the classic physique category is that you have slightly longer shorts. So rather than the posing trunks, these trunks are significantly shorter than a board short, but they're not quite as short as traditional open bodybuilding category. But I'll be hitting pretty much all my same poses. So I don't really need to brush up on that because it's pretty much the same anyways. And I like the classic poses, so I've kind of been incorporating those anyways into the open bodybuilding posing practice. So I shouldn't really skip a beat there. The nice thing about them allowing me to switch over and compete in the classic is that with this particular show, there are now enough competitors in the classic division to be a pro qualifying division. So I will now be able to be in the running for a pro card in classic physique with this competition. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm also excited about having other competitors that I'm fighting up against. So that is the run of events for this particular show, this first show of the season. I'm going to take the camera with me. Chip's going to be with me, filming as much of this as possible. So you will see all of that, and I'll be as detailed as we can possibly be because I want to illustrate what these shows look like across a broader range of spectrums. Every component of it, the backstage component, the pumping up, the tanning, the polygraph, the check-ins, the actual show itself, everything. I'm documenting this entire journey for y'all, for this course, for the vlog footage that's a companion course, for everything, so that you can go into your show with a full degree of confidence, knowing that you know exactly what to expect and won't be hit with any surprises. So I'm excited. We are definitely getting close to game time, so let's rock and roll. All right, Joe, what's going on? Here we are in Logan, Utah at Next Level Strength and Fitness. Super cool little powerlifting bodybuilding gym here. And it is Friday morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I've had my coffee so far today. I have not eaten anything. This is literally the day before the show. I've got my tanning later today. I've got my polygraph test. I got my competitor check-ins. The whole goal with this workout is not to overly stimulate the muscles, cause any type of acute inflammation, or risk of injury or hit any PRs or anything like that. The main goal with this workout is to simply engage all the muscle groups, force blood into the tissue, get a good pump, and just let the nutrients from last night's extra meat carry throughout my entire body. So the whole goal with this workout is to kind of go relatively fast. I'll probably superset everything. I'm going to continue to do the full body, but I'm basically going to do like a circuit / superset of 2 or 3 exercises per set, and then just force as much blood into the tissue as possible. Again, not going for any PRs, just going to focus on chasing that pump. Let's get after it. Alright y'all, so that concludes the last little workout, pump-up session, posing session prior to the show day. So today is Friday morning. I'm going to go and get my polygraph test, go and get my check-ins, my competitor number, going to get my tan on, my first coat of tan. And like I said, this pump-up session, short workout, I mean less than an hour, just kind of going through a few different movements, forcing blood into the tissue. The extra 1 pound of 80-20 ground beef with salt that I had last night worked beautifully. It filled out the muscles. I feel way more full today. I woke up 2 pounds heavier, so all of that extra fluid is in the muscle tissue, which is where we want it. Vascularity was popping. Just had way more fullness today than I had prior to that additional bolus in calories. So feel very good about how that panned out. And I still have to do my keto refeed meal tonight, which is the main bolus of calories. So very excited about everything to come. Feel great about the pump-up session. Feel great about the footage that we got. I try at the end of every workout to just take a moment, pause, meditate, be present, soak in this moment, because this moment and moments like these are the ones that we're fighting for. Like, you're on the brink of something great. Regardless of the placing, I feel really good about how I'm looking. I feel better than I've ever felt before in a prep. I look better than I've ever felt before in a prep, or looked before in a prep. So in that regard, I've already won. So I feel really confident, really good, really proud, really fulfilled, and very grateful and thankful for this entire journey and for y'all tuning in and watching the whole thing unfold. I'm going to get my first meal of the day in now, so we'll see y'all there. All right, y'all, we are back at the Airbnb. We just got back from that little pump-up session at the gym. I'm going to have my first meal today. This is pretty much the same thing as what I normally have through the week, except in much smaller portions and with fewer ingredients, because I'm doing the keto refeed pizza tonight. So this meal is simply 8 eggs and 4 ounces of venison. And I'm going to go ahead and put 10 grams of salt on this. I'm going to put the other 2 grams of salt and the anchovies, which is a big bolus of sodium, on the refeed pizza. So if you're really wanting to get things dialed in, as I am, then you go all out with the electrolyte tracking, because it is a pretty significant variable that can make or break you. So I have a little jewelry scale here, and I'll show you exactly what my protocol looks like. So I've got my jewelry scale. Looks like I'm dealing drugs over here. I've got my little thing there. Turn that bad boy on. Let it zero out. All right, we're on grams. We are zeroed out there. Make sure you're not leaning on the table. And then I'm going to put 10 grams of salt on this meal. All right, boom. We are at the 10 grams there. So that is going to be the salt that I add to this meal. Again, this meal is super simple here. We've got the ground venison and eggs. I've got my little Hot Logic warmer here, so this is how I heat up my meals. I normally have a keto brick with this meal, but I'm going to have the keto brick with my refeed pizza tonight. So keeping it super simple. And that is what it looks like, pretty much like a souffle of sorts. I'm going to add my salt. Pretty hefty dose of sodium there. And then for a little bit of extra iodine, I put some kelp on there. It's also got a nice crunch to it, so I like that. A little bit of seaweed is what that is, dried seaweed, bull kelp. And then I'm pretty much keeping my seasonings super consistent, super simple. So I've just got some stone ground mustard here. I've got like a fermented hot sauce here. Put a little bit of that on there. There's not a whole lot of sodium in either of these hot sauces, so I'm not really worried about it skewing my numbers. Plus, I have this consistently every day, so my body's acclimated to the sodium that it does contain. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my last post-workout meal right here. So I'm going to chow down on this, and then we're going to head to the polygraph test before too long here. So get ready for that. All right, y'all, we're here for the polygraph test. It's at the host hotel. There's like a little conference room set up in here. They're probably not gonna let the camera in, but I'm just gonna get my polygraph test. It's scheduled for 10 minutes, so it shouldn't take too long at all. So yeah, it's kind of weird because like I know I've never taken anything, but you just always feel nervous when you're getting tested anyways. Like I always got nervous in school and college whenever there's a test. So we're gonna go in here, knock this out, feel cool, calm, and collected, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, so I just finished the polygraph test. They put a wrap around 2 of your fingers. They put a chest strap on you. They put a blood pressure cuff monitor on your arm, basically hook you up into a machine. He asked me the preliminary questions, and then he turned on the machine for the actual test. The machine asked me the formal questions, of which there were very few. There's like a baseline question. It says, do you intend to be truthful on this test? Yes. Are you sitting down? Yes. Are you currently in the United States? Yes. And then it goes into, have you taken any performance-enhancing drugs for this competition? No. Are you the type of person that would lie in a relationship? No. What else was there? Have you taken anything on the OCB banned substance list? No. I'm pretty sure that was all the questions. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're in and out in less than 10 minutes. Guy was super friendly. He's gonna be watching the show, so we passed, we're good to go. If you were to have failed, they let you know right then and there that you have failed. So I'm good, I'm in the green, all good, and we will see you back at the Airbnb. All right, so the next part of this endeavor is the skincare portion. So I'll probably have a standalone video just on this, but just to kind of like have this in a vlog style format. I'm about to jump in the shower right now and shave everything. I've been kind of shaving everything in the days leading up to this. You don't want to, you know, shock your skin, have some irritation in your skin when you do the tanning. So I'm about to go for my tan in another 2 hours or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave everything, entire body. Crystal's going to get the spots that I can't reach myself. And then I'm using an unscented organic shaving soap. So super simple. You don't want to use any lotions. You don't want to use any moisturizers. You don't want to do anything that's going to leave an oily residue on your skin. So much so that I'm going to use this charcoal loofah scrub thing and a whole bunch of salt, Redmond Real Salt, shout out to them. Basically gonna like exfoliate all of my skin with the loofah and the salt. The salt will dry out the skin and aid along with the loofah in exfoliating any dead skin cells. That's gonna allow that tanning solution to soak up even better and adhere to the skin. So gonna shave, gonna exfoliate, and gonna dry out right now. All right, y'all, here we are at the host hotel. We're just doing check-ins right now, so getting our competitor numbers, getting a little swag bag, t-shirts, all that good stuff, and making sure that we are on the roster and good to go. So doing that right now, and then after that, we got the tanning. So we are number 72, ladies and gents. We got a shirt. So got the Federation on there, all that good stuff. We got a little flyer for the OCB Yorton Cup. We have a sticker, and we have a caffeine-free pre-workout. So that's kind of nice, caffeine-free pre-workout. So that's what our swag bag consists of. All right, y'all, just got done with the tan. So I got my first coat. This will get darker as the night progresses, so I'll show y'all what I'm looking like after I do my refeed pizza. For bodybuilding, they have you wear a sock over your junk. So this is my lucky sock here. You go in there, you face the front, they spray you, face the side, rear, other side, face the front, do like 2 rounds of that, and you stand in a tent with a fan going to let that dry a little bit. So that's what's going on now. You just want to wear loose-fitting clothing that you don't mind ruining because it's going to stain the clothing. So headed back to the Airbnb right now. All right, y'all, what is going on? We are back at the Airbnb. I've got my refeed meal in front of me here. We have got 1 whole Bell's Brownie Batter Keto Brick, and we've got the Keto Refeed Pizza made with, let's see what we got here. We have 20 grams of almond flour, 8 ounces of 85-15 beef, 7 ounces of mozzarella cheese, and I've got 3 servings, which is 45 grams of anchovy paste. That's kind of like my secret weapon, either anchovies or anchovy paste. Really high in sodium in that. It's just absolutely delicious. I love anchovies on my pizza. So I'm about to chow down on this, and then I'll show y'all some updated posing after a while. After I eat this, I'm going to go for a little walk, maybe do some push-ups, just get some blood flowing a little bit. Nothing crazy. I don't want to mess up my tan because I do have the first coat of my spray tan on. But right now, I'm just going to soak this up, enjoy every single bite, and love it. The totals for this meal are 149 grams of protein, 17 grams of total carbs, and 176.2 grams of fat for a total of 2,239 calories. This is my refeed meal that will allow me to refill and fill out rather for tomorrow's competition. So about to dive in and enjoy it. Here we go. All right, y'all, it is the morning of the show. It is Saturday morning. I woke up at 159.2 today, so up a little bit, up 0.2 pounds from yesterday. I was up a little bit Friday from Thursday as a result of that extra meat, and then I had my refeed pizza last night. But I was like not holding any additional water, unnecessary water in my subcutaneous layer of skin, so that extra salt from the refeed pizza worked beautifully. No swelling in my ankles whatsoever. Vascularity was on point. Feel great about all that. I'm here at the hotel to get my second and final main spray tan coat. I got my little portable fan in here, so I'm going to dry myself off so I don't have any issues with the tan adhering properly. And feeling great, y'all. So we're just tackling it. Today is the day of the show, so let's go conquer. All right, y'all, so we just finished the second coat of tan. Got my hands tan now, my face is tan, so I'm matching a little bit more. Feeling pretty good about how the color's looking. We come back at 9 o'clock in the morning for oiling and just like any minor touch-ups to the tan. I'm gonna go back to the Airbnb right now, and I'm gonna have my first meal, which is gonna be, I'll talk about that when we get there. So see you back at the Airbnb. All right, y'all, what is going on? We are back at the Airbnb. We are back from getting our second coat of tan, and it is 7:30 in the morning. Show starts at 10 o'clock. I'll probably be stepping on stage at around 11, I would guess. All I've had today so far from a consumption standpoint is my coffee. When I make my coffee, I put some electrolytes in there, some potassium, some sodium. It's basically 3 cups worth of coffee. And then I'll put 7 tablespoons of that nut pods creamer. I'm pretty much following the normal meal today, except for the fact that I'm having the additional keto brick today. Because I've got so many competitions planned, I don't want to have like a big celebratory meal or anything crazy like that. So I'm doing my normal meal today with the addition of that keto brick to help fill out for the show. However, I don't want to have all of that food in my OMAD like I typically do. I don't want to eat a whole bunch of food and feel bloated before going on stage. So I took that normal meal and I cut it into thirds, and then I'm going to have a third of it right now with a quarter of a keto brick. So I've got a keto brick cut up into quarters here. I'm going to have a third of my normal OMAD meal with a quarter keto brick, and then I will have the remaining quarter keto bricks throughout the day, for the show to kind of fill out as necessary, get a little bit more sodium, some fat and protein from the brick as I need to. And then after the show's over, I'll have the remaining 2/3 of this meal and a full keto brick. So again, normal macros, normal meals, except I've kind of divvied it up timing-wise a little bit differently, and I'm having the additional keto brick today. So I've got, because I'm doing basically a third right now, I've also cut my salt intake for this meal by a third. I normally have 10 grams of Redmond real salt on this meal. I'm going to have 3 grams of that with this meal right now, and that will be pretty much my nutrition going into the show. So about to chow down, and we'll see y'all at the venue. All right, y'all, we're here at Logan High School. This is where the venue is for the competitions. We got Rigel all purdied up, Crystal's all purdied up, and I'm all tanned up. So here we go. All right, y'all, it's about 9 o'clock. Event starts at 10, so I'm gonna have another quarter keto brick right now. So chowing down here, you get a little bit of sodium in, a little bit of fat and protein, no carbs necessary. All right, gonna get my touch-ups done. Here we go.
fun.
I'll do it.
Absolutely look amazing.
Appreciate it. All right, y'all, we just finished our, not routines, but we finished our posing, our judge posing round. Then we got touched up. We're here backstage now. I got Mike Vest. What's your name, man?
Taylor LJ, too long, I don't feel
Taylor LJ. This is his first show?
Yes, sir, first show.
His second season competing. That's the cool thing about these shows, y'all. There's so much camaraderie back here. We're like helping each other pump up backstage. We're all talking. It's all friendly. Like you go to some shows, it's like cutthroat. We don't have time for that here. We're just all friendly. We're all on the same page. We're all fighting for the same fight. We all want each other to look at our best so that we're up against the best. So shout out to these fellas here. They're killing it. Appreciate y'all following along. All right, y'all. So here we are. There's like a 30-minute intermission right now. So we're just kind of milling around for a bit. I'm probably going to have my last quarter of a keto break after they start doing the individual routines. That way I'm about halfway through the lineup there, so I'll probably have that last quarter keto break then, let that soak into my system, give me some more sodium, a little bit more water. As far as how I feel right now, I feel really good. I feel like from a conditioning standpoint, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I feel like I'm the most conditioned guy on stage, so I feel good about that. Remember, with this show, I was going in with the intention of open bodybuilding, which the goal is to be as conditioned as possible, and then I had to move into classic physique, in which, depending on the judging criteria, the goal is not to be the most conditioned as possible. So it is possible that I'll be counted off for that level of conditioning, and the judges may award the competitor with a more classic physique-esque level of conditioning. In which case, that is how it is. You know, again, this was a kind of spur of the moment, me transitioning to classic as opposed to bodybuilding. I feel like I've looked better than I've ever looked. So even if I don't get first as a result of me being too conditioned, I'm at peace with that. A couple of the guys that I think are in the running for first, they're all great guys, so if they take the trophy, more power to them. I'm super proud of them. A lot of great camaraderie backstage here amongst the competitors. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the judges think, and we'll go from there. But again, to recap, after looking at the footage, after talking to Crystal, I feel confident that I'm the most conditioned on stage, which is my goal. I mean, again, I want to reiterate the point. The whole goal with this prep is to be the leanest man alive on planet Earth by the end of it all. So if I get counted off for being too conditioned, then it is what it is. We'll let the chips fall where they may. So appreciate y'all, and we'll see you for the individual routine and awards. Yeah, we're about to go back on stage for the individual routines and the presentations. So
Cheer 'em on.
Here we go. I'm gonna have my last quarter of a keto break, drink a little bit of water with some electrolytes in it, and then we'll do our routines. With this show, we're not doing like routines that are to our own choreographed music. It's just a house music, like a generic T-walk or I-walk. All the judging's done. So we're just gonna go out there and have fun with it, very laid back and informal, relaxed vibe. And then they'll award the presentation. So we'll see what happened. What is going on, y'all? We are back at the Airbnb. We are back from the competition venue, and just want to kind of lay it all out there, kind of go over results, go over what we've just uncovered, and bring y'all up to speed. Okay, so amazing experience. Truly enjoyed the competition. Very small show, but it was super laid back and relaxed as a result of that. The check-ins went smooth. The polygraph went smooth. The tanning went smooth. The Airbnb is like literally 5-7 minutes away from the venue, so that went great. The competitor backstage area was also smaller, but that worked out smoothly. Tons of camaraderie amongst the competitors. I truly, truly enjoyed interacting with all of them. One of them had been following me on social media. He was eating a keto brick backstage, so that was super cool to see. Lots of people were coming up to me and asking me questions about the ketogenic diet and things of that nature, so very cool as well. Before I go over the results, I'm going to kind of little temptation, suspense build up here. I want to talk a little bit about macros and kind of bring in the spreadsheet to show you what all has taken place this week. So this is week 22 of the competition prep. I started the week at 157.5 pounds. My macro targets for this week were 125 grams of fat, 180 grams of protein, 15 grams total carbs for a total of 1,905 calories. If you recall, on Thursday, this is all the week after that 50-mile march, I could tell that I was looking incredibly lean and crisp and grainy and dry, which is all really good, but I didn't have that fullness that I want to bring to the stage on show day. So I kind of called an audible and decided to incorporate another pound of ground beef, 80-20 ground beef, on Thursday. So if you can see here, my weight was actually down ahead of schedule. On Wednesday, I woke up and I was 157.1. I actually hit 156.9 on Thursday morning, and I decided to have that extra pound of ground beef. That bumped my macros up to 215 grams of fat, 255 grams of protein, and 20 grams of total carbs for a total of 3,035 calories. And then on Friday, the day before the show, that's when I had my ketogenic caloric refeed, and I woke up a little bit heavier from that ground beef on Friday at a 158.9. I did that posing at the gym, which you see some footage of that. I could tell that I was more filled out from that ground beef. Like, my muscles soaked that up. I had a fuller look, which is exactly what I was hoping for, so that was a very good call on my part. The electrolytes were dialed in. I didn't change my electrolytes at all on Thursday, so that stayed consistent. I just simply incorporated the extra pound of 80-20 ground beef. My body soaked that up, filled out. That worked perfectly. On Friday, after we got back done from that posing and little light pumping workout, I got my refeed meal, the keto caloric refeed pizza, and that put my total calories for the day at 2940, 220 grams of fat, 220 grams of protein, 20 grams of total carbs. And then on Saturday, the day of the show, I had the additional keto brick, which put me at 215 grams of fat, 220 grams of protein, and 20 grams of total carbs. And then Sunday, I'm going to go right back to normal at 125 grams of fat, 180 grams of protein, 15 grams of total carbs. Keeping my cardio the same this week as well. I'm actually filming this on Saturday right after the show, but I know what my macros are going to be today, and I know that I'm going to do cardio tomorrow, so that's why I've got that in there. So for the week, my average intake is 2356 on the calories when you average those higher days out across the week, which is actually a bump in calories from the week prior and the week prior to that. So generally speaking, you want to be going into a caloric deficit as you're trying to get leaner, but I'm trying to fill out for the show, so I did have an average higher intake in calories. But over the next few weeks, I'm going to be dropping that addition, even more. So I'm still going to be in a deficit overall. But I did have that moment in time where my calories actually ramped up, which honestly should result in a slight increase in metabolic rate. And I anticipate to see a continual drop in body fat and overall body weight. Woke up this morning, the day of the show, Saturday, at 159.2. Was able to fill out, had great muscle fullness. So from an electrolyte standpoint of having that extra sodium with the keto refeed pizza and the extra meal, everything has worked beautifully according to plan thus far. Now that you know what the results of the spreadsheet are looking like and kind of what the plan is there, suffice it to say that I'm now post-show. I am not going to be going out for my celebratory meal like every other competitor is, because there is still work to do. This is the first of 5 competitions this year. So rather than me going out and blowing my macros at some restaurant that I can't track, I am going to simply, I've got my Tupperware with the remaining 2/3 of today's meal and a keto brick warming up right now. That's going to be what I eat post-show as my celebratory meal. So I am right on track. I have the tiger, still have work to do. Let's talk about the, before I talk about the results, let's talk about the body fat. So I had Crystal do a caliper test on Friday of this week, and she clocked me in at 3.89% body fat. The last caliper test was 4.14%. So the caliper is still moving in the right direction. So I'm happy to see that. I've been traveling, so I haven't been able to jump on an in-body scale, but that will come when I get back home. All right, so the results. Just to re-clarify here, I went into the show wanting to do bodybuilding. I signed up for the bodybuilding division. The day before, or Wednesday, when we got here, I got an email saying that I was the only competitor in the bodybuilding division. So I would have technically won that division by default. However, it's not in my competitive nature to simply win by default. I want to be up against other competitors. I want to battle it out. So I immediately emailed the promoter and asked if I can do a late crossover and basically just compete amongst the other competitors in the classic division. She was gracious enough to let me do that. So I did not do open bodybuilding. I did open classic physique, which has similar poses. However, it does not have a similar look from a judging standpoint. They want to see competitors that are not as lean and not as dialed in as they do in the open bodybuilding class. And as a result of that, I was able to compete against other competitors, which is great, but I did not get first place because I was too lean for this competition. I got second place, men's classic physique open, second place today. And honestly, I'm totally at peace with it, y'all. It's frustrating to bring your best package to date and not win, especially when you are more conditioned than the other competitors. But given the circumstance, I could either have won bodybuilding by default and not competed against anybody else, or competed and not brought what the judges were looking for because I was too lean. After the show was over, I literally walked up to the judging table. There was 5 judges. I looked at each of them in the eye, asked for feedback, and I asked them, was I the most conditioned individual on stage? And unanimously, they all said yes. The competitors backstage, we were all talking. It was all a very friendly vibe. They all agreed that I was the leanest person on stage. I had what it took in a bodybuilding world, but I was leaner than everybody for a classic physique standpoint. One of the judges actually said if I was up there and just simply did not flex, then I may have actually won. But it's not in me to not flex when I'm on a bodybuilding stage. So I flexed and I got second. So to not win as a result of being too lean, when my overall goal with this entire endeavor is to be the leanest man alive, I can't really complain too much there. Like, I'm not really going to lose any sleep over that. Overall, I think this was an amazing experience. We got a ton of great footage. This is the first bodybuilding show that we have filmed this way, so now we are going to be even more dialed in and crisp for the future shows. So great experience overall, great camaraderie amongst the competitors. You know, I'm very blessed to have the outcome that I did with regards to how my body responded to the manipulations. Everything went according to plan, beautifully filled out, had the conditioning, had the vascularity. Y'all see in the footage, everything looked on point. So I'm very happy with it. In that regard, I think it's a win. Interestingly enough, had I won this show, had I won a pro card in the OCB Federation, which is what this show is, I would have qualified to compete as a pro in the OCB Yorton Cup, which is the biggest show within the OCB Federation, which is coincidentally next weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina. So had I won this show, I was going to just call another audible and continue driving and drive to North Carolina to compete in the Yorton as a pro. Since I did not win this show, that is not the case, and we're going to be setting our sights on the New York show, which is the INBF WNBF Federation, in which I, again, am registered in the bodybuilding division. So I won't have to worry about being too conditioned, because in that federation specifically, the prize goes to those that are the leanest. So I feel very good about my chances with that. So we're going to just simply regroup and set our sights on that target and make the most of it. All the competitors, again, were amazing. The guy that won first place, his name's Mike. He looked phenomenal. He's taller than me, has got a better mohawk than me. And he's just a super cool dude. He was coming up to me and saying, "Hey, man, I hope to someday look like you," which was a compliment because I lost to him in this show. But again, that's what the judges were looking for in a classic physique as opposed to an open bodybuilding competition. So the judges did what they had to do. I did what I had to do. The competitors did what they had to do. That's why this is a subjective sport. This is why it's also so very important that you sign up for the class that you look the best for, because you never know what the judges are going to do. And with this show, they did not award first place to the leanest, most built individual. They awarded it to the one that had more of a classic look. So, in that case, they were looking for somebody that was less lean than I. And that's just how it works out sometimes. Again, not going to lose any sleep about it. I think this was an amazing experience. I'm glad that y'all are along for the ride. I appreciate all the support. I'm going to eat the remaining part of my prepped meal right now and just enjoy the moment. Oh, I did get Best Posing Award, though. So this is Best Posing. So I got second place in the Classic and first place for Best Posing. So feel pretty good about the posing. Shout out to Rachel Daniels, who's helping me with the posing. I don't have a macro coach because I'm doing all my own macros and nutrition manipulations, but she is my posing coach, so shout out to her there. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. We will see you next week for week 23.